I am Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Kabir Rachure, is one of the strongest ultra cyclists from India. He recently completed his third race across America in under 11 days, which is the fastest time by any Indian rider so far. In this episode, he shares his experience at RAAM 2023. We talk in detail about what went well and what could have been better in his attempt. We talk about his hunger to keep learning and growing. We talk about his plans for the rest of the year and the major race on his calendar for the next year. It is always great to talk to Kabir with his honest and open approach to life. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers, and it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenki on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast again, Kabir. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you so
having you
much
on the
for
show.
having me.
Man, congrats on the successful third time finish of
Yeah,
race across America.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fantastic to see, three of you finish this year.
I know. It feels like yesterday when we spoke after my second finish, and now again speaking for the third finish.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we can get used to this.
yeah. Of
This is
course,
not
of
bad.
course. As long as we have that enough money to spend in a race across America, so yeah, I'm okay with coming with like doing back to back RAM.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
Um, I was chatting with Srini and then Amit
Okay.
last week,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with Srini, we were talking, a lot about all the logistics and the costs
Correct.
involved and stuff.
I know. I
It's a
know.
lot. It's a lot
Mad,
of
mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
mad, mad. So now let us get into it. I want to understand how was RAM this time for
Mhm.
you compared to last couple of times.
Yeah. So, actually, I goofed up in some way rather than any team member or something. So it was very good this year, Sam. I was physically like super strong than last year, mentally super strong than last year. The weather was very good compared to last year. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, the weather was very good actually. So it helped. And the only issue I faced was I went to the US. I got new three bike sets from Dr. Vance, the Infinity. So what I did, the main bike, which is my primary bike, it has a E2 saddle initially. Okay, and I was installing a E3 saddle. So E3 saddle has double padding than the E2. Okay, so
Mm.
seat height goes at by 3 or 2 centimeter up. Okay, and the nose also goes bit high. So that was different than my original
Centimeters
bike.
or mm?
Centimeters, not centimeters. So that padding is
Oh,
too
that's
too
a
good.
huge.
Yeah,
Uh,
so that padding is too good. So the main part is in the second half. If you think that centimeter is huge, then I'll tell you where I goofed up. So so I tilted the bike seat, I tightened it. So usually my seat put has two screws, one is in front and one is in the back. So usually I tighten it like 8 nm for the front screw and 10 nm for the rear screw. That is enough. So this time what I did, I tighten, so because the US roads are super smooth. Okay, so we are not that worried that it will slant or something like that. So I tighten it like 6 nm in the front and 8 nm in the back. Because I didn't want to take any extra risk to tighten it like too much. So day one was super good. Day one after the bike fit. So in RAM, when RAM started, so after Blythe, road becomes too vibrations, or maybe it has two rough patches. So because of those rough patches, my saddle started going backward uh, very slightly,
oh,
which was not like I couldn't observe this because I was on the bike. Okay, and the process was so slow that my body was getting adapted to it. Okay, so
hmm,
by the time I reached at 500-kilometer mark, my knee started hurting, the left knee, which is my actually
hmm,
stronger leg, which usually never gives any issues. So that started hurting. I thought it might be because of the vibration. So once I go and take a sleep break and the road is smooth, it will go. Uh, and I was not feeling comfortable on the bike, so I asked my crew to get the second bike down, which is the exact replica of this San Marino. So they got the bike down. It had new wheel set of Sakti, who was my crew member. So I didn't check the
hmm,
wheels initially because I thought that wheels are looking new, so there is no need to check. These all are like newbie mistakes, what new people do. Uh, so I was like, okay, so the bike was set, the wheels were there, so they gave me the bike. I was on the bike. I felt comfortable while sitting. It was a huge difference. So what I thought. That the entire training what I did in Himalayan was on that bike, the black San Marino. Okay,
right.
which I got now on that particular time. So I thought, yeah, maybe that is the reason I got super used to this bike, and I'm feeling like this is the difference. So, but the bike started making weird noise. It was cracking, crackling, and everything. But I checked the bike, so I knew the problem is not in the bike; it is something else. But again, I thought maybe on the roof rack something might have gone wrong. So I again shifted on the earlier bike. The seat was totally behind. So and
That's
then it
it
didn't.
moved back and the saddle setback increased, basically.
So it moved back almost around 50 mm. So my
Oh,
saddle
good.
is
Five
totally
centimeters.
ahead. Yeah. So my saddle
Wow.
is totally ahead. Okay. And it went totally behind. So this was like this much of gap on the seat, which is for
Right.
me is huge because every
For anybody,
mm
it will be
makes yeah,
huge.
for every makes huge difference is my power output. Okay. So the
Right.
thing is, uh, I was lacking 20% of power at least. Okay, I can go at 35, 36 on the flats, but I was averaging somewhere around 29, 28. Okay, on those patches, I climbed at speed of like 18 and 19, where I do average somewhere around 22, 25 on gradient of 5.
Hmm.
So after that, we reached at the first leap break. The knee was hurting so bad. I never faced such knee issue in my knee, and I was like, this RAM is gone, boss. And I was like, okay, just sleep and let's see how it goes. Because by that time, uh, I was feeling that the entire issue is because of the road. Okay, but the road
Hmm.
gets smooth after the Yagnel. So physios gave me the good stretching, and then I asked them whether anything is going to tear. So they're like, no, nothing is going to tear because the vibration of so much in knee, when I used to fold the knee, it used to make crackling noise. Okay, which is not good for
Hmm.
the RAM. And I wasn't able to fold it when I was sleeping, so it was hurting too much. Then after that, we managed the pain. I was not giving much power on the left leg and everything. I changed the bike after Utah. I went on the TT bike. It felt very comfortable. Then again after that, I shifted on the same bike, which has that seat problem, but we weren't aware about the seat slanting because it was not visible. Because of the
Hmm.
so we are in so much hurry to change the bike and sit on it and then move immediately. So the so after fourth day, I told to my crew that get that Blake San Marino down and change the wheels. I think the entire issue is with the wheels cassette. So that was the reason the bike was making noise. And again on sixth day, it was raining, so I had two different combination. One bike was for rain, one bike was for the dry thing, because I'm not comfortable doing downhills on the carbon wheels because I have the
Hmm.
rim brake and it don't give you that good
Yeah,
control
the
which
braking
you get
power
on the,
won't
yeah,
be there.
yeah,
Yeah.
so which I get on the alloy wheels. I shifted on the black San Marino, because sorry, red San Marino, because it was raining and we installed the alloy wheels on that. So I took a P break, and then I went bit down on the roadside, and so the position was I was here and the bike was here. So when I turned back and I saw that, and I was like, why this bike is looking ugly? Because the seat was totally behind. And then I looked at the bike, and then I looked at the racked one, and I was like, boss, this is the reason why I'm getting this knee pain. And then it was like, oh shit, I'm riding this bike for the last 7 days. I would have thought, I would have given a thought that it might be a bike fit thing or something, but because I'm riding this bike from like last 6 7 years, I never faced any issue with the seat post slanting or seat positioning, so you never think about it. So this was the biggest learning this year. So I lost 20% of power. I couldn't push too hard because my knee was paining. So my second target was to uh, don't push too much, just overtake as many as rider I can and maintain that position. So that was the thing. Then the one thing was, I'm sure about that, I will not allow anyone to overtake me again if I overtake them. So that was the second priority what we had finalized. So otherwise, it would have been a great RAM this year. Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, I know.
See,
I know.
we tend to take so much care about all the things
Correct.
you would have planned everything to the dot,
Yeah.
and then something like this just pops up and throws you off like
And in the
crazy.
biggest event of the year. So
I know. I mean, you could call it, a rookie mistake or
yeah,
anything,
of
but
course.
you wouldn't have in the kind of race situation. It
Yeah.
is really hard to make out
And when
and notice
when
these
we finish,
things.
yeah, and when we finish the race, so at first, you never accept that the mistake is on your part. Okay. I asked someone that whether anybody touched my bike, okay, or whether anybody made any changes in the seat while changing the seat. They're like, no, 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 we didn't. And when I started riding the bike, I started thinking that what changes I made before coming to the race. Then I remembered that I changed the angle of the seat and I took it like a bit slightly downward, and then that struck me in the mind that I didn't tighten it properly, and because of the vibration it went slightly back. Because when you are on
Hmm.
aero and then you get those vibration, your body automatically goes behind, and that seat went behind because handling that 75 kilograms of human, and that seat has a lot of pressure, so it goes
Right.
behind. So that was the reason I think we lost almost around 12 to 15 hours because of the
Hmm.
loss in power. Yeah. And
No.
again, when you are in the front bunch, you again push harder. So
Right.
that was the reason I wasn't looking that tired. I was totally fresh at the finish line because I had a lot of energy to ride. Yeah, but yeah, that was a
No,
sensible decision not to push, I think.
I mean, once something starts hurting,
Yeah,
like as important a part as knee, that
correct.
that you are pushing for on every pedal stroke.
Yeah,
If that goes for a toss, your
yeah,
entire you have to
yeah.
be conservative to kind of make sure that it holds up throughout the evening.
Correct. मैं
Uh,
नहीं चला था अगर if that pain comes in DC or some other races. The thing it was so much so the RAM is such a big event. So many things are at stake. So you have no option. And then the right leg performed very well because I was putting 120% of energy on that leg. Uh, I was using the left leg only for that rolling, and if on the flats I didn't face any issues, but on the climbs it was hurting a bit. It it it
hmm.
it it got better because of the road was smooth, and then I started adapting to that seat thing. And I'm never that comfortable on the TT bike, but in this
Hmm.
RAM I used my TT bike almost for like 1200 to 1300 kilometer because that bike fit was correct, and I was not
Correct.
comfortable on the aero bike. So,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh wow, this is good. I'm feeling comfortable with the TT bike even on the climbs and all. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So how was the kind of competition uh, uh, when compared to last couple of times that you took part in?
So this time I was fearless. I didn't think about not pushing too much, not going all out, or so this time I was in competitive mind that I have to overtake
We
riders.
we
I have to
we talked
push.
about it last time
Last time,
when
yeah,
we
yeah.
said,
So
yeah.
I had nothing to prove to anyone. Okay, the thing was I wanted to just go there, but take the lead as early as possible and maintain that lead. Okay, and main thing, don't throw race strategy because of any other competitor. So we had a
Hmm.
tight plan. I'll sleep for 2.5 hours every day. I was sleeping for 2.5 hours every day. I took few naps whenever I felt that it is getting risky and I should sleep. So we followed our plan, and whenever I was on the bike, the thought was continuously there that who is riding ahead of me, how I can catch him, what is his graph looking like. Okay, the Yusuke, the Japanese rider, we saw him. He was going like two ahead, but he was not sleeping at all. And if some rider is not sleeping at all, and even though you are catching him after third day of like 2.5 hours of sleep, you know that his moving speed is not that much, so you can catch
Right.
him any day. So all the
Hmm.
data, all the study was on point. We were aware of who is riding in which way. So yeah, the plan was there to uh, finish as in good position as we can.
Hmm. Hmm. So, in terms of the race strategy, you just mentioned about planning for sleep breaks. So,
Yeah.
what else was your race strategy going in?
So it was so see there are two main strategies. Okay, uh, to be super fresh, don't take any risk on the bike. Okay, we can catch up a lot of ground because this is not a 40-kilometer race. It is a
Hmm.
5,000-kilometer race. If on one day, if some rider performs well, you have to wait for your day. On maybe next day, you will perform well, and he might be in some different position because everybody had some different kind of strategy. You can't go in RAM without any strategy. So the main thing was to sleep proper. Don't get sleep deprived. Okay, don't increase that sleep debt so that you can push in your second half when other riders start feeling sleepy. Okay, because a lot of riders are there who go without sleep. Okay, if you see Amit Samarth, I don't think he slept for first 2 days. Okay, he was just taking those naps. Okay, but Srini was sleeping well, so we were able to overtake Amit even after our sleep breaks. He used to go ahead, then we used to catch him. Lot of riders. So the riders who don't sleep a lot, they get slow. Okay, because it adds too much risk. You're riding with sleepy eyes and everything. And if you see Amit's pattern after his high altitude sickness, when he got the sleep, he was super fast. So
Yeah,
that
it
what
made a
happened.
huge difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that what happens when you are properly rested or slept well. Okay, so
Hmm.
that was the main thing, and the second thing was following the nutrition properly. Nutrition means nothing about protein and carbohydrates and everything. The nutrition priority was to consume at least 350 calories per hour, no matter how you consume it, but consume it. So I
Hmm.
ate somewhere around 60 ice cream sandwiches in 12 days, like 10 days. So on one, because see, one ice cream sandwich has almost around 450 calories. Okay, and it tastes well. Okay, in heat, you feel like you are having something, maybe good thing, which is. So on one day, I had 12 or 13 ice cream sandwiches. So like I'm sorted for like next 14 hours nutrition. It's sorted, and it was giving good results. So yeah, that was the main thing that we followed, that to consume 350 to 400 calories per hour.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, apart from the ice cream sandwiches, what else was contributing to the calories?
So I usually have SN energy of the state fast. Okay, that is my
Hmm.
primary nutrition thing. Before sleep break, Sapna cooks that moong dal ka khichdi with lots of ghee and peanut chutney. That
Hmm.
helps a lot for my recovery and all. I do take protein shake before sleeping. Then these ice cream sandwiches, maybe sometimes chips, donuts, pizza slices, Subway sandwich, fresh fruits, berries. I had lots of peaches. Uh,
Hmm.
this time, yeah, the farmers were there on the roadside. They had good peaches, so I had a lot of peaches. I had tomatoes, like six tomatoes on the bike. So the best thing about the RAM, whatever you eat, you're going to lose weight. So that's the best thing. You can eat whatever you can. We just have to make sure that the things are in good shape.
Hmm.
The fruits and vegetables are not rotten. It has
Hmm.
no some bad breath or something like that. So that is the main thing you have to focus on, that the whatever you are having is fresh,
Right.
not something.
What
Yeah, yeah,
whatever you are having is fresh. What it
yeah.
doesn't interrupt with your too much
Correct,
with your
because our immunity
upsetting your
goes
tummy or
down.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because our immunity already goes down because of this immense effort. So you have to be really careful with what you are having. So that's very important.
Excellent, excellent. So the pacing, in terms of pacing, it doesn't matter whether it is a 40-meter race or 4,000-kilometer race. Pacing is everything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You have to make sure that you are not pushing too much too soon, and
correct,
you are sticking to your pace strategy. But in a race like this, it is also very important to, like you were saying, right, not let others position affect your pricing strategy
correct.
so
Yeah,
much.
that is too
So
important.
mm-hmm. So I mean, how many people were ahead of you as the days, the first couple of days? How did it change over the course of the competition?
Yeah, actually, I didn't lose many places. Okay, for my
Hmm.
sleep break, only two or three riders used to go ahead, and then again I used to catch them up. I remember before South Fork, I was at overall third position. Isa was ahead of me, Yusuke was ahead of me, and then I was there, and then Lionel was behind me, and Mark Kupinski was there. But Mark Kupinski has had 3 hour time credit, because he went to that Flagstaff patch and then came back, and then took the car shuttle. So and then again, I used to be at the maybe seventh overall. Then again, I used to go at fourth overall, maybe third overall, then fifth overall. So but I didn't lose too many places I took. So a lot of people, what they strategize that will go last 48 hours without sleep. Okay, uh, to think like that, it is good. Okay, but it is not possible physically unless and until you are in some different level, like stressor is. Okay, so last year I did that mistake to think that I'll go last 700 kilometers without sleep. Okay, so that didn't happen. So this time I was, Sapna and me were pretty sure that we'll take our last sleep break properly, so that we can overtake all other riders. So when I took my last sleep break, so I was, I guess, ninth overall, but we overtook four riders. And by the time I catch Rupinski or maybe Leah, they were like far ahead. So I didn't had that time to push and then overtake these riders. And climbing is always my strength, has been my strength. So I made lot of ground in that climbing sections. And when I was aware that nobody will overtake me and I am not able to overtake any other riders, I took it pretty easily. Or otherwise, I would have finished at like 2.5 hours before what I did. But I chilled at the end. I slept for like 1 hour when Heather was behind me. So I used to check her. We used to check her tracking details. Whenever she used to stop, I used to stop, and then I used to take a nap. Whenever she used to start, I used to start. Well, that actually demoralizes the rider because they think that, yeah, this rider has stopped, and then I'll start. Then when you start, then that rider gets demotivated. Okay, yeah, they are just riding whenever we are riding, and she had 1 hour penalty, so we were like in safe position that even she takes the lead, we are going to be ahead. So that's how I think it went. And second in age category and fifth overall was a good thing, even after having that knee pain and everything.
Oh, definitely the a
Yeah,
great result.
yeah,
And was it like this is the first time an Indian rider went sub 11
yeah,
days?
yeah,
Was did I mean I learned that a 100 mile section was kind of cut out. Was
yeah.
that
Correct.
considered into the time, or how did
No,
that
it,
work?
it they didn't consider it yet. Okay, but
Hmm.
so my take on that 100 mile is, when the race is 5,000 kilometer, this is going to happen. In
Yeah.
2022, I rode 130 kilometer extra. Okay, but
Hmm.
they gave 1 hour credit to every rider. Okay, for 130
Hmm.
kilometer, and it had lot of climbing.
1 hour and 130.
Yeah, and it had
Yeah.
lot of climbing. Okay, trust me, the road was not as smooth as. So what we did last year was we climbed up to Flagstaff ka climb, which is the
Hmm.
toughest climb. Okay, thereafter we had a shuttle of 50 mile, and from there we went to Winslow, and from Winslow we went to Tuba City. Okay, but the Flagstaff to Tuba City is super fast segment. Okay, it is gradual down. The road condition is super good. You average somewhere around 31, 32 for that patch. And Winslow was gradually climbing thing. So we lost somewhere around 6 to 7 hours only for that patch. Okay,
Hmm.
otherwise I would have finished that entire RAM, last year's RAM, in somewhere around 11 days, 2 hours or 3 hours, if
Right.
the road was exactly this. So this is part and parcel of the race. A few people ask me that, yeah, they removed the most difficult climb of the RAM, so that doesn't mean that RAM is easy. Okay, RAM is
Of
equally
course it
difficult.
doesn't.
Yeah, of course. So a lot of people in Deccan Cliffhanger, when they removed the Mahabaleshwar section, people decrease their target time by 3 hours, and I was like, are you guys mad? That is just a 10-kilometer climb, and you can't make your target. Like, if somebody was targeting 28 hours, he was now targeting 25 hours. Like,
How is that possible?
that
Like
that
10.
doesn't help. Yeah, so yeah, of course it was good thing, especially for me, because I had knee pain, and that climb would have been made it worse, because
Hmm.
that time was pretty fresh for my knee pain. Okay,
Right.
that was very
Yeah.
good thing for Amit as well, because he didn't sleep before that patch, and he got to sleep in the shuttle. Okay,
Hmm.
so that was a very good thing for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't know, because of maybe everybody, if we would have done that patch, maybe we would have got some good tailwinds ahead, because every 4 hours or 5 hours thing makes huge difference. So for explaining, okay, I was in Trinidad this year. Amit and Srini and the riders which were behind me were like 6 to 7 hours behind me. Okay, from Trinidad to Ulysses, I got the headwinds. Okay, I was not
Hmm.
averaging properly. In Ulysses, that storm came, and thereafter it was super tailwind. But the people who were like 6 hours behind me, they got the super good tailwind. Okay, that was the reason that Amit covered so much distance, because on day two it was super tailwind. So every 4 hours makes huge difference. Okay,
Right.
I was in the Yarnell climb ka patch uh, uh, in early afternoon, so I didn't get that heat. But Amit was in like after 2 or 3 hours, he got super hot weather. So this is how it is. So I think
Yeah, I
that
mean,
is
yeah,
okay.
it kind of evens out over the over
Yeah,
500 5,000 kilometer
kilometer.
race. I
Yeah, so
mean, yeah,
160 is like this. Last year we rode somewhere around 5,120 kilometers. This year
yeah,
we rode somewhere around 4,900 and some odd kilometers. So
exactly. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yeah,
No, but no, but still the kind of the way where we are
yeah,
right now, like we talked about last time, how from watching dot watching and nailing, biting our nails to make sure that our riders are making the cutoff, we are
yeah,
actually moving to we almost forgot about the cutoffs and
yeah, of course.
time stations, and we
Correct.
are actually looking at, okay, he's this much ahead of these riders, this much behind these riders, and we are kind of strategizing and looking at the competition rather than the
Yeah,
time stations. And
yeah,
that is just great progress. And I think I this year, especially with all three of you finishing
yeah,
that strong, it bodes really well to the ultra community in
yeah, yeah.
India.
I was just checking the stats of raw riders and everyone. So
Hmm.
if I would have gone for raw, I would have been overall winner for raw, the solo thing, because the fastest rider was 3 hours slower than me in Durango. So, and
Hmm.
when you go for RA, you push a lot because that is just 1500 kilometers race. So that
Right.
quality is going like higher day
Hmm.
by day. But the only thing to worry is there are only these few riders who are doing this thing again and again. Okay, we need
Hmm.
some new riders to come up with all these things. Okay, people are lot, yeah,
I am sure. I'm sure. You seeing you guys now would influence definitely, and inspire a lot more riders. For a fact, it is not something just about the endurance and the capabilities.
correct,
Although
yeah,
that
yeah,
becomes primary, that
yeah,
becomes super important, that becomes super primary.
yeah,
But again, like we just talked about, the whole logistics angle of it is what makes it
correct.
even more harder.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
even I think female riders should be more inspired by looking at Leah and Isa, uh,
Oh
because
man,
yeah, because that
she
is
she
something
won
real
it
inspiration.
overall,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course, of course. In 2019, from 2019, her timing she improved almost 2 days. So
Wow.
her timing in 2019 was somewhere around 11 days, 12 hours or 11 hours. Now she was like 9 days, 12 hours or something. And so that is the main reason. So she's not in her 30s or 20s where people actually improve. She was
Hmm.
like 52 and now she is 54, 55, and she's improving in that way. Her graph is like going in that way. So for us, it is like something super positive to take, that we are at just our 30s, and I can like improve way too better than what these guys are doing. It's just about the hard work and the yeah, what you put in your
Definitely.
training.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
you just mentioned about raw and comparing the timings with the raw field. Is that something on your mind for future?
No, actually, I'll if I go, I'll do RAM because see, investing in same time, same money, and then going and doing shorter version is not something I'm looking for. And one more thing is, if I I ever think about doing raw, I will just not think about finishing it or winning it. I will target something to achieve something good in it, okay, to
Hmm.
maybe do it in some particular hours or see the records and everything, because uh, at the end of the day people consider solo raw as a trial before the ram. It is
Correct.
something you train your crew, your bikes, and check your status how you are going to do in raw. People mostly do raw and the next year they go for the ram. Okay,
Hmm.
so and I don't
Kind
want
of
to go
systems
for,
check.
yeah, and I don't want to go for raw and see that whether it's so good and think that अगर RAM करता तो यार कितना fast जाता. So I don't want to think in that way. That was the reason I went this year. Okay, because so see, Amit was there, Srini was there. So see, we can't think that okay, there is no competition in same countries, athlete or something when they go on the international thing. If we
No,
don't
there is
push
so
each
much
other,
competition
yeah, of course.
outside,
So if
right?
we don't push each other, we are not going to improve at all. Okay,
Hmm.
so I
Hmm.
didn't wanted to cry sitting at the home that okay, Amit and Srini is getting so good weather and it is such a beautiful thing, and I don't get to race with these guys often. Okay, because the races which I do, they don't come for these races. So this was the good ground for me to check myself whether I am improving my timings, whether I am at that stage, whether these guys are stronger than me, what I have to do and something. So this was good platform for me to go there to check my strategies and everything. So I didn't wanted to make any excuses on 2024 that again last year the weather was very good, so people went faster. Year the weather was not that good, so I was slower. So going at the same year gives you the same platform, same, almost same climate conditions, same everything is there, and you push a bit more than what you push. If you see Simon Yates and his brother, okay, these are real brothers riding in
Yeah.
different teams, and they are the most competitive for each other. Hardik
Right.
Pandya, Kunal Pandya. Okay, it is not about the country or the relation or something. These guys motivates you to push a lot because you want to prove something for yourself. You want to check something. If say like if me and my best friend is playing in some different teams cricket, so I want to hit every ball out of the park when he balls. Okay, I'll be brutal against him, but I'll be equally adores him and everything, so that gives extra boost to you. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Definitely. I mean, for all of us, it was really great to see.
Yeah.
Like we were enjoying, watching Simon Yates and
Yeah,
his brother
brother.
competing and doing so well in that Tour de France stage. We
Yeah.
were looking at three of you, doing so well, and enjoying vicariously from here. And that
Yeah.
finish line photo of three of you next to each other was really good to watch as well. Right?
Correct. And I
Yeah.
got a lot of respect from these two senior riders actually. Whenever I overtook
Mm.
them, Srini was very kind and talkative with me. We spoke a lot because our speed was pretty similar on few patches. So we used to speak for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes because we have a maximum time limit when you can speak to other rider. And then maybe
Mhm.
he used to pass or I used to pass. Then when I met Amit, Amit was equally kindful. He was talking in good way. All the foreign riders are pretty well. I spoke with Leah. Heather was like all the time there with me. At day two, I told her that it seems like we are going to finish at the same time. And she was like, of course, if we don't fuck up our plans, then we might finish at the same time. Like, yeah. And at the end, also, we spoke about it. Jonathan Moog was there. After coming back to India, he was kind enough to text me that, hey brother, are you thinking about doing RAM and team of two? let's do something good and everything. And I was like, of course we'll do it in future, but I'm planning to do race around Austria, and then let's see how it goes. So these athletes are pretty good. So they are super competitive when we are on the road, but these guys are like super kind when we are off the race. So they will come, they will appreciate, they will yeah. So this is beautiful.
Amazing, yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's the kind of camaraderie and sportsmanship that we need, and that the future generations have to take from you
yeah,
guys as
actually,
well. Yeah, yeah, excellent. So you just mentioned about race across Austria.
yeah.
When is that, and when are you planning to do that?
So it's the my actual plan was to go for race around Austria this year,
Mhm.
but yeah, of course, I told you that this year was looking good to be at the top and everything. So I went to RAM, and now the plan is to go for race around Austria next year if everything falls in place. So yeah, so to go and to
When
just
when when does that usually happen?
it's usually in August. So
Okay.
yeah, it will be August 2024. So yeah, the plan is that, and after that we'll see how things align and how's the training and everything. So
So there won't be RAM next year from you then.
for sure, no RAM next year. But after that, yeah, maybe there is possibility that I might go again. So
Mm-hmm.
not here to
Right.
just go and tick on that bucket list that yeah, I have done this RAM, I have done Austria, and I'll go for Europe and everything. No, I want to go again and again and improve that timing. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So this year, how did you kind of, you know, uh, uh, did you go a bit ahead to kind of adjust to the climatic conditions or acclimatize, or how did that planning go?
No, actually, I was in Leh for a month. Okay, but
Hmm.
I went to US on 29th of May,
Okay.
14 days before the race. So I went to
Hmm.
Borrego where usually riders do the heat training. But I don't know. I was feeling like this year's RAM won't be that hot, so I didn't do any ride in hot weather. I just did one ride to just see whether this heat is bearable or not bearable. So it was bearable. So I spoke to my team that I'm not going to suffer in the heat for training and then delay my recovery timings and all. And
Hmm.
it was very windy, so the things were becoming risky because it was too windy. So I didn't do any heat training or everything. I used to go out for like early morning ride and then come back, rest, recover, eat whatever I want, and just wait for the training. I used to spend a lot of time with bikes to just make those micro changes, fuck up with that thing and everything. So, uh, but uh, yeah, but I went there and I felt that this year's RAM is going to be cooler than usual.
Hmm.
So, and I have seen the data. Whenever this happens, the next year is brutal. So I don't know next year how it is going to be, but the
Right.
data says that whenever the RAM is super cooler on some year, the next year is pretty harsh.
Right.
So I think because 2019 was super hot. Thereafter 2020 it didn't happen. 21 was the brutal one. There were total 11 riders for solo attempt. Out of them, 9 went to hospital in Arizona.
Eesh, my
Yeah,
God. Yeah.
so everybody was admitted in that particular hospital after Arizona. So after that, 2022 was much better. It was hot, but not that hot. This year was the cooler one. Okay, so I think the next year will be the brutal
Yeah.
one. So whoever is
Last
planning
year,
to go with that mental preparation that it is going to be super hot.
right. And last year, you faced a lot of winds and,
Yeah, mad
issues
winds.
with mad
This
winds.
year's teams faced lot of wind because
Okay.
team starts after 4 days. Okay, last year teams got super tailwinds, So they caught us at Ohio or somewhere. This year they caught us on the last day, which was really good. So even they weren't able to cross Isa. Usually, when Strasser goes there, does it under 8 days. So one or two teams mostly catch him. Okay, so Isa was like 2 days slower than Strasser, but still no team came and crossed her. So this
Yeah.
was the pure indication that the weather for the team was pretty brutal.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you can get caught up with weather like that, but over the 5,000 kilometers, it kind of evens out for most riders. I would think
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
In
Nice.
Ulysses, I had a sleep break planned, and the hotel was like 25 kilometers away. And it started raining, and the weather was getting bad because there were prediction of thunderstorm and all. So the plan was to ride as fast as possible to Ulysses, sleep for 2.5 hours, so maybe till the storm goes away, and then start riding. But when the hotel was like 15 kilometers away, it so I was pedaling at like 40 kmph and all because I had a strong wind, and all of a sudden, without pedaling, the bike was going at 61, 62 on a flat road, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh shit, what is this happening? And then I was like, boss, the storm is coming or what? And my crew members were like, just look at your both the sides. And when I saw the clouds were like coming down, it was thundering, and then the wind was so strong, and I was on deep section, so all of a sudden a cross wind came, and I lost my balance. So I still wanted to continue on the shallow wheels, but it was getting too risky. So I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have reached at my hotel in like 15 minutes if I would have done that ride. But then we lost almost around 45 minutes in that because we put the cycles in car. I went to hotel in car. Then again, after the sleep break, we came back to the same point and then start riding
Hmm.
from there. So in that entire process, we lost somewhere around 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Hmm.
So yeah,
But you have to take safety into consideration, and
yeah,
you have
of
to
course,
give that
yeah,
preference, because these things, the cross strong crosswinds on deep sections, and even when big vehicles pass you, they can
correct,
really rattle you, and
yeah,
one fall can mean a
yeah.
lot of a lot different result as well.
Imagine getting tailwinds at the speed of like almost 100, kmph. So never saw
It
that
can
such
be
strong
scary.
weight. Yeah, never saw such strong rides, but still I wanted to ride in that because that 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 looked super good to cover some extra distance and catch up with the front riders. But everybody stopped.
Yeah.
So and then thereafter I was worried about the cycles which were mounted on the rack, on the roof rack, and I was like, shit, if something happens and the fork gets broken or something like that, but the it didn't happen. So yeah, that was scary thing.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable? What were some of the most memorable moments from this year's RAM for you?
The most memorable thing is again to be at the start point because it takes a lot of energy to reach there and be there. Okay, that feeling is something different. I can't explain because uh, in 2019 I thought of going for RAM and attempting RAM. The main motto of that RAM was to just complete the RAM and have that label of RAM finisher. Uh, that year I was sure that I'll go again in 2020 maybe, and then COVID happened. I couldn't go for the RAM. Then in 2022 we went. So second time was okay, but I never thought that I'll come again in 2023 and be at the start point. So Oceanside and all those places feels like home now. Borrego Springs, that the entire LA airport or JFK airport, you know everything that this is the road, this is the car thing. You see same people because I was there in last year. So even in Trifty and all, where we pick up our cars, the similar faces you see in Borrego, the shop. The supervisors are same. They ask you, "Okay, you are here again." The waiters of the hotel and everything. So that feels like I am actually lucky, blessed, and because I'm able to do the things what I love, because RAM is dream for a lot of people. A lot of people are thinking to do RAM from like since 2014, but they didn't go for it. And I am someone who started after the Amit, Srini and all, like 2 years after, and I did three times. So that is huge. I missed just one edition of RAM, that was 2021, only because the things were dicey for us. They
Hmm.
had some quarantine conditions and all, that you have to quarantine for 14 days once you reach US and all. And financially, that is not possible for us.
Right.
So, and frankly speaking, lucky that I didn't go in 2021 because heat was brutal. So, and I was not that prepared the way I am now prepared.
Hmm.
So, it's always hard for you on your body to go. So yeah, I feel the most memorable part is to land on the airport and start at the stand on the start line, to see the same banner, Race Across America start, and all those things. I think that is the most memorable thing. Otherwise, we regret everything after we start pedaling, because after 2 days, 4 days, when we are sleep deprived, we there is nothing memorable.
Why
Frankly
are
speaking, this
why
thing.
am I doing this?
Yeah, I know. There is nothing memorable. Even if you are at the lead, you are in so much pain, you are in so much sleep deprivation, or you miss your bed. So, Shell is in my crew. So he used to change his shift, come onto the shift. He used to give me the direct follow, and whenever he used to come on the shift, and he used to tell me that, अरे कबीर क्या मस्त नींद हुआ, मस्त खाया हमने, it was good. And I was like, तुमको बात नहीं करना है, मत करो, but don't start with, अरे क्या नींद हुआ हमारा, कितना अच्छे से सोए हम. And you're like, okay, okay, okay. And this is on like sixth day or seventh day, when the writer ahead of you is like, so I have pity samples in my crew, but these guys are like, so every one of them can be a crew chief of any good team. So actually, the team is super sorted. So I have nothing to worry.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah, definitely makes a huge difference. So,
Yeah.
was the crew more or less the same from last year,
So six
this year
people
as
were
well?
there. Three people
Hmm.
couldn't come from last year because everyone has some personal issues. Kazi shifted to Riyadh, so he was joining his new job. Satish had some personal issues. Ratnadeep was trying to come, but he also had some personal issues. So I took four new crew members. Sakti was there. He's from US. Sakti's wife Prasanna was there. So I know these guys from years. So no one was new. Varun was there. He's my training. He did officiating and lot of Inspire India races. So he's a very calm and composed guy. And the thing, I had no one who knows about the cycles. So I took Varun because he's a cyclist, and I know that he can at least change the tires and tubes and do all this degreasing and everything, and maintain the bikes properly. So he and Jobby, who took care of all the social media thing, and he did awesome, because I got so many good replies after the race that we lived the race and everything. And I was like, but being there in person, it's something different, and looking at the social media, it's something different. Because my stupid
Definitely.
technician has no visa, Nikhil. So he works in Mastermind. So yeah, so let's see when he gets the visa and when he can come for the next race. So yeah,
Hmm.
I have lot of awesome crew members. So if I think of going there with the perfect team, I will have to take almost 20-22 people, because uh, I'm lucky in that thing actually. So because every race I have few people who crewed me before, and everyone is super good, super committed. They care about me a lot. So it is not something for them to go and roam USA or do something. The priority is just the race, that we are going for Kabir, we have to do this for Kabir. And yeah, so the team was good.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
the crew makes such a huge
yeah.
difference. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is the most difficult part in ultra cycling, to build a good crew. Yeah.
Definitely. So, how is the rest of the year looking for you?
I haven't started with the riding yet. Okay, but looking forward for the Deccan Cliffhanger, because Mayank is coming from Canada. So and then I heard that Dhiren Bontra had registered for the DC. So these are few fast guys, and it doesn't matter that whether you finish RAM thrice or something. Every race is different. Whether it is 650 kilometer or 1200 kilometer or 5000 kilometer, every rider is different. So Mayank is super fast in 24-hour races. Most of the time uh, he he uh, he does something wrong and his races are on stake. Sometimes he comes with a bad crew, sometimes he takes a lot of caffeine tablet, or sometimes he pushes a lot, then his knee starts paining. But I respect him a lot as a competitor, because he's a super genuine guy. Riding against him, I always push myself a lot. And then coming back after RAM and going for the 650 kilometer, you have to change your mental thing to different level, because you get used to for that comfortable and endurance rides, and then again coming back to the 650 thing, and then push yourself to beyond limits. So and
The
so that
intensity
gives,
would be different, right?
yeah, yeah. I want to try nationals and all, only for the time trials. But I never tried that thing, and maybe to increase my pushing capacity, or maybe that suffering capacity, it will be a good ground for me. I always see these guys, Naveen John, Panvar, and all these guys who ride even super fast. Even the Ashwin Govind Swamy is there, and all these guys. So maybe someday come to Bangalore or Chennai and do those time trials, and just to take a taste of it, that how these guys push themselves for the 40 kilometer. Of course, like uh, uh, so uh, I'll mostly invest my time to in learning these different formats, and then again shift to the same thing after the Deccan and December, because I have almost 8 months to train for race around Austria. So this is how the year looks, to increase that pushing capacity and that suffer. So what amuses me about the short distance rider is they have immense capacity to push themselves and suffer and bear that pain and suffering, which is not usually in the long distance riders. So I can do multiple hundreds at the same speed. If somebody asks me to do 600 kilometer in the speed of 30-32, I can do that, but I can't do my first 100 at 36 or 30 kmph, which these guys do it easily. But after that their graph goes down. So this is the difference, and I want to mix myself, maybe adapt to this pushing capacity in endurance, so that I can push my limits and I can be more faster. So this is, I am something looking forward to merge the racing style into the endurance thing. So let's see how it goes. Maybe it might work or might not work, but there is nothing wrong in trying something new.
Oh, definitely. This kind of reminds me of how Naveen John is now, delving into something very, very new for him, which is
Oh wow.
track cycling, right?
Oh wow. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, this kind of shows the hunger in you guys to not be complacent, but keep learning, right?
Yeah.
This is really great to hear. I am sure
Mm.
you will do really well in those as well.
Yeah.
Come down to BBCH. We have a really fast course.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves with the 40 kmph, 45 kmph rides
Yeah,
on
I
that
know, man.
fast
Yeah.
course. So
Uh,
I'm sure you will be flying there as well.
yeah, I
Uh,
hope so. I
it,
hope
it,
so.
it would be great to see you there.
Yeah, I'll
And
come down to yeah, BBCH someday for sure, because I always see your Instagram post and everything, and I was like, man, this is something which is not here in Mumbai or Pune. So because that road is good, that
yeah,
community is there, that racing thing, I see a lot of huge crowd, and then so testing yourself in lot of people gives you boost to push yourself, because going for Guineas and VUCA and everything, you are riding alone, so you don't know
mm,
how other people's will ride and something. So riding in
right,
that pressure of competition makes you a lot stronger in the racing thing. So
yeah,
that's why I keep doing these Deccan and Ultra Spice and everything, because under pressure it gives you good analysis to who is working in what way, whether this crew is capable of taking the pressure, whether I am capable of taking the pressure, whether if another rider overtakes me, whether I lose some hope or I fight back or something like that. So this is always good battleground for you to test yourself, go to the competition. Even Strassers, see, he did 1,000 kilometer in 24 hours. Okay, no one can do it. I can bet on it.
yeah,
Yeah, so he does RAM in 7 days, 12 hours, and all, and he still goes for 40-kilometer time trials. He comes third, he comes fourth, he comes fifth. Okay, so there is no shame in it. Okay, it's actually what I love the most, because you can't win every race. Okay, you have to
correct.
be there. Once you know your forte, okay, everyone knows that. Okay, if Kabir is good in ultra distance, nobody will judge Kabir for doing 40 kilometer. Okay, if people think that Kabir will be the equally same in 40 kilometer, that is not correct, because I am not
They don't
training
know
for
the
that race.
sport.
Yeah, so
They
I'm not
don't know the
training for
sport.
that race. If you have
Yeah,
some coach, people think that my coach should win every race unless and until he is not a good coach. But Sachin can't be a good coach. He can be a good player, but
exactly,
he can't be a good coach. And some cricketer can be a very good coach, but he never performed that way. Okay, he might not have a single century in his record, but he's good in teaching those things. So I think this is where
excellent,
we are
Amit.
lacking. Yeah,
Yeah, excellent. I'm sure I'm really happy to see your hunger. I wish
yeah.
you all the very best in the
Thank you so much, sir.
upcoming races, including Deccan Cliffhanger. And thanks again for taking the time and sharing
Thank you
your
so much. Thank you
experience.
so much.
That was my conversation with Kabir. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to it on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. Also, supporting the sponsors of the podcast is a great way to support the podcast itself. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.